Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Abashim, Yahweh Shai, Abashim, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone, rule web, and a great example to the younger brothers in the truth, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. And Lord, wasn't this edifying, but this is a read to the elder, up and coming elder, however you want to put it. He an elder to me, but he an elder. The elder Amawan Gabar from New York, the main camp in New York. And his page is GMS. Let me see. GMS, you see it right there under the title in the description box. GMS Awakening 144 Ba, B-A at the end, and that's for two. That means two in Hebrew. But he did a lesson on this famine that's coming to the earth, man, and it's not just America, man. It's gonna be, it's not just other parts of the world. America is gonna play it's gonna be the worst enemy. Everything that's gonna happen to the earth is gonna hit America the worst, man. You know, because this is the land of plenty. These people not used to not eating. These people ain't used to the things that are finna shock the earth, man. See, the third world countries, they pretty much, they didn't experience things of this nature, man. But they ain't, it's finna be bad for them too, cause it's finna be horrible, man. The time we coming into is a time that never been seen on the face of the earth, like the scriptures say, man. It's words can't even explain, but it's approaching. It's 2020, the year of prophecy. 2021, Lord knows what that year gonna be, but all these things are coming to pass, man. Lord willing, 2021 be the year of deliverance, man. Lord willing. But I ain't gonna talk too much. I'm gonna let this play. Cause he got a clip that I was gonna do a video on Dabu 7, but I never did it. But I'm finna do it now. Through the spirit, it's just a and the title of the lesson gonna be Great Famine of Biblical Proportion are coming to America sooner than you think. So let's get into it, man. And go watch his video as well. Beautiful lesson, man.
Earlier today, to break off talks on a COVID economic relief bill impacts millions of Americans who find it difficult to cover their basic needs. Nearly half of the 22 million jobs lost during the pandemic have not yet been recovered. Hunger, food insecurity, and need remain a constant. Stephanie Sy has the latest.
Judy, the most recent survey by the Census Bureau found that more than 18 million American adults said they sometimes or often didn't have enough to eat in the past week. A survey in August found up to 14% of adults with kids said their children were in that same boat. Food banks are stretched to the brink. Communities in the Gulf Coast have been seeing their share of all of this, a problem that is magnified during hurricane season. The latest storm, Hurricane Delta, is expected to make landfall by the weekend. Michael Ledger is the CEO of Feeding the Gulf Coast and joins me now. Michael, thank you so much for your time. Give us a sense of how long the lines have been at the food banks, how desperate the need you're seeing there on the Gulf Coast.
Yes, the need has exploded. We've seen over 50% increase in need. With COVID, it's put people in a very vulnerable position. We had 1 in 6 individuals and 1 in 4 children struggling with hunger, and we've seen that number now increase to 1 in 5 adults and 1 in 3 children. We just had a mega food pantry where we distributed approximately 90,000 pounds of food at a large football stadium. The distribution started.
And hold up, this in Mobile, man. This right here where we at. Since I said that in that spiritual, I stopped it at 144. But hold up, let me bag that back. I ain't see it. I was watching the video here to work this morning, and I was like, I'm gonna do a read of that. But this right here in my city, man. Right in the neighborhood I grew up in, man. That's crazy. I ain't even I ain't watched the clip. I was just listening.
People in a very, very vulnerable position. We had 1 in 6 individuals.
And our camp is Gulf Coast, the Gulf Coast camp, so to speak, Gulf Coast, Mississippi camp. But we the brothers in Mobile, 3 brothers in Mobile and 1 other brother in Pensacola. But let's play some more.
And 1 in 4 children struggling with hunger, and we've seen that number now increase.
Oh, it just said Mobile, Alabama. See, I ain't watched the clip. I just was listening.
Increased to 1 in 5 adults and 1 in 3 children. We just had a mega food pantry where we distributed approximately 90,000 pounds of food at a large football stadium.
Lad People Stadium. That's where South Alabama used to play. That's where the Senior Bowl at. That's where the Senior Bowl used to be. It may be at the new South Alabama Stadium because they just built the stadium. But hey, you see it, man. This shit coming to a city near you, man. Because this is city near me, man. And they doing food drive. People need, let's keep playing it. Because you're going to say some heavy stuff, man. Right here in the city near me, man.
Stadium. The distribution started at 9 o'clock. Cars were lining up at 5 a.m. The parking at a large football stadium is ample, and they filled every spot waiting in line for food. And we still turned cars away at the end of it.
Incredible.
You heard that? They still turn cars away at the end, man.
1 in 3 children in the United States, food insecure. Mike, when you look at who is lining up at those events, what strikes you as most worrying? Are you seeing a lot of families with young children who are hungry?
Absolutely. Our child nutrition program has been working around the clock. As a matter of fact, right now, all 4 of our programs typically wouldn't be running concurrently are running simultaneously right now. And 3 of those 4 in Alabama are running. We have kids in need impacted amazingly. Folks they have to pay the electric bill. It's either on or it's off. But when it comes to food, you might try to stretch your budget. And when you do that, of course, you leave yourself food insecure. And with schools being closed or kids unable to go to school, the need for supplemental nutrition is increased dramatically.
It now appears that the White House is not going to make a deal with Democrats on more coronavirus relief funding before the election, which could also tie up food assistance benefits. Michael, if Washington could see what you're seeing on the ground, what would they be doing?
I think if they were on the ground, they would see people impacted every day, those that weren't vulnerable because their jobs have been eliminated or they've been reduced the hours. If a restaurant's only working at 50% capacity on limited hours, of course, the parents aren't bringing home the paychecks they would have. We have people that are in our lines, a gentleman named Terry, just the other day that came. He had 4 children, 4 girls, all under the age of 7, had lost a job due to COVID and did not know how he was going to feed them. When he left, he was teary-eyed and thanking us for making sure that he knew how he was going to put food on the table for his kids that week. I think when you tell stories like that to someone, they can feel the impact, and we certainly hope that legislators are aware of those situations, and we believe they are.
Michael, you're also in the midst of a historically active hurricane season with yet another hurricane heading your way this weekend. How is that affecting operations?
Yes, as we respond to COVID and now Sally, just 3 weeks out, having put out 18 million meals since COVID with 1.5 million meals for Sally. Our folks are stretched thin, have been working really hard. I'm so proud of the team. Obviously, we're even in a more vulnerable spot, and all those that were impacted by Sally find themselves even more vulnerable now. So we're going to be working around the clock to try to make sure that we're addressing the needs that arise as it pertains to hunger. With Delta bearing down on us, we hope to be ready and up for the challenge.
And I hope your team stays safe as you do this important work. Michael Ledger, CEO and president of Feeding the Gulf Coast, thank you.
Thank you.
Hold up. It say black families have been about twice as likely as white families to experience food insecurity over the last 15 years, man. So all the people posted up at Atlanta, it wasn't Edomites. It probably a few, but majority, hey, it was Jake, man. The time of Jacob trouble is at hand, man. And what our people doing? They still bullshitting. Still running around this bitch playing. You know, ain't paying no attention. And basically they just rejecting knowledge, man. Because they rejecting all the signs that the Lord say was going to be happening before his second coming. So, hey, they finna be caught out there, man.
This is Dabu7 talking about the global food supply here, as summer and spring had offered us an opportunity to get out there and grow our own food. Going into the winter, a lot of people are going to be leaning heavily on supply chains, on grocery stores, on farmers. And what we're seeing here is that there is indeed a shortage globally. Now, the UN had come out and had made these statements here not too long ago saying that the world would face famines of biblical proportions. I'm not...
But, let's go. We'll come back to that. What do biblical proportion mean? Because some people may not know what they mean, man. It's of biblical proportion. It's a very big or important, especially in a bad or unpleasant way, But they call the Bible the good book, man. But written there in the Bible is lamentation, mourning, and woes, man. So why do they call this the good book, man? And why every time something very terrible happens to the whole earth, they call it of biblical proportion, man? They don't say of the Quran or of Quran, or however you want to say, I'm making up some Quran importance, like the Quran or the all these other books. They always use biblical. It's always something happen. Fires of biblical proportion. Everything be a biblical proportion, man. Going to show you that the Bible is that's the book, man. That's the true book, man. That's the true word, man. And guess who got the understanding of that book, man? The men who you see on highways and byways teaching, man. But I'm going to read it again and say very big or important, especially in a bad or unpleasant way. So it's finna be a very big famine or important, especially in a bad or unpleasant way, man. A famine, man. Hunger, man.
That or heard that warning that they said. So much news floating around every day and happening, all these alerts and warnings. But this is kind of like the slow kill. Like when I talk about the frog slowly getting cooked and not realizing it. The shelves are becoming barren. And this is happening in many different cities. Now, your city may go to the store, may look fine. But I'm telling you, from the feedback that I get from all across the world, people are telling me they're walking in stores in their hometowns, and it doesn't make sense why some of the shelves are cleared out when there's no rush, there's no massive lines, and you have these big corporations saying that they're stockpiling, like your Walmarts and your Krogers. But yet you walk into the store, some of the shelves are empty and they're limiting items, and yet there's no rush on items. Other places seem to be moving along just fine. It just seems to me that the bigger corporations are going along with this whole thing globally, step by step, even when it comes down to rationing food. As I had said many times before, I feel like we're still in beta mode with all these beta tests happening here throughout this whole thing. One area that I want to point out is South America. They're now saying that from Mexico City all the way down to the southern tip of South America, there are food shortages, with obviously the poorest areas getting hit the hardest. So This is pretty widespread, and we can be affected by this big time here in America as well. And it can creep up on us out of nowhere as the dollar loses buying power and becomes weaker, and food becomes more scarce, and the price naturally starts to inflate. There's going to be a crossroad between the two where the dollar's coming down and the prices of food are going up, and it's going to catch people off guard. So, once again, if you don't have a plan out there for food storage, please get one. Whether it's freeze-dried food to get through 6 months, or you're making a garden, a greenhouse, to get through the winter. Something's got to be done from here. Cannot be just depending on these grocery chains. So, show some support to your local farmers. That will go a long way, that's for sure. And it'll help keep them in business and help keep you with fresh food in town. I'll leave a link, and I'm going to break this down further on the next live stream, so make sure to join me over here on D-Live, going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. The gloves come off over here, and that's a fact, Jack. Hope to see you guys here. Much love.
Shalom. Want to start off by giving
Shalom Salaki. The video got cut, but that was the elders who started speaking. But go watch his video, and I'm gonna get my little couple precepts, and I'm gonna get out y'all way, man. But this Matthew, let's pull up all this chapter. We're gonna jump. This Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3. And we're gonna start at 3. It say, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, his disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming? And he said, and of the end of the world. And Yahushua answered and said to them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, or I am Christ, or I am the anointed, I am the Messiah, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. But we know it's the Hamashiach. I am the Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. Famines is the key word, man. And pestilence, COVID-19, and earthquakes. All these earthquakes happening all over earth in diverse places. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. So we only entering into the beginning of sorrows. It's finna get way 20. You think 2020 was a rough year, man? And 2020 ain't even done yet, man. We still got a month, 2 months, or 2.5 months to go, man. So it say all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then it jumped back to like 70 AD. Well, then it keep going. We're gonna be betrayed. But I'm gonna jump to verse 21 and say, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So a great tribulation is coming to the earth, man. And that's that great famine, that's going to play a role in motherfuckers getting chipped, man. All right, you want to eat, take this chip. Eventually, Walmart, all these big box stores, they going to go to digital, man. Only way you can get in, because they stockpiling food, These big stores, they stockpiling food, man. And, if you keep watching the video, he went into that, how they stockpiling, Because before a famine, what you do, these people know the scriptures. They told you a famine of biblical proportion. They know the scriptures, so guess what? In the scripture, what Joseph told the Pharaoh, you going to have 7 years of plenteous, then you going to have 7 years of famine. And Joseph, that's what made Egypt so great. Joseph letting the Pharaoh know, look, start stockpiling, Start storing up food, because it's finna be a great famine, So when the famine come, you going to be the one You gonna have the market cornered, man. You can sell shit for what you want to sell it for, man. You know? And that's the same thing Esau doing today, man. But the only thing they through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, they are causing this famine, man. You know, the Lord is doing it, but he using them to do it, the elite to do it, man. And that's the point on that one. There's Luke 21 in verse 11. It say, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sightings, and great signs shall be in heaven, shall be from heaven. Yeah, them fearful signs, they go into meteor. They talking about meteor strikes, asteroids, and they talking about you know, the chariots. Those are fearful sights for these people, man. You know, so it's right now, man, it's going down, man. And it's a beautiful thing that these things are happening, man. Because guess what, man? That means we're closer to our deliverance, man. You know? That's it on it. Hold up. I got a couple more and I'm going to end it, though. This, Second Exodus chapter 15 and verse 1, it say, behold, speak thou unto the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh. And what did that thing say? Black people are twice more likely to be affected by hunger than white families, man. Black families, man. You know, and when they say black families, they're talking about Negro, Latino, and Native American families are more likely to be affected than whites. Why? Because white people got bread, man. You know, white people own the farms and all these different things, man. You know. Verse 2 is saying, cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imagination against thee, and let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Yeah, so you ain't got to believe, because guess what? You're going to die in your unfaithfulness. Verse 5, behold, Yahweh will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, man. You know, so one of the plagues that's coming upon the world is famine, man. You know, let's get another one, man. This Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 and verse 28, it reads, there be spirits created for vengeance, which in their fury they lay on sore strokes, and the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hell, famine and death, all these were created for vengeance, man. So what you seeing, you know, it's part of the Lord's vengeance, man. A famine of biblical proportion is part of the Lord's vengeance. And you listen to what Dabu 7 was saying, that it's from like Mexico City on down to the lowest tip of South America. They are experiencing this, man. You know? So that's what we seeing in the earth, man. You know? We seeing prophecy, 2020 year prophecy coined by the elder Apostle Tahar, man. And this may be my last precept, but I gotta, you know, we just get it. Lamentation 4 and 9, it reads, they that be slain with the sword is better than they that be slain for hunger. These pine away, stricken through the want of the fruits of the field. Stricken through the wants of the fruits of the field. You know? And that's one more thing. I got the online etymology of famine. It's a mid 14th century from old French famine, starvation. 12th century from vulgar Latin famina, however you say that, from Latin famis, hunger, starvation, famine, which is of unknown origin. You know. So let's go back. It say Lamentations 4 and 9, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. So it's better for you to get shot or stabbed or, slain with the sword. Get blew to smithereen than to die of hunger, man. Let's get another one. Matter of fact, in Second Exodus, let's get another one, man. Through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. This is on Second Exodus chapter 16 now, in verse 33. It reads, "The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, and the women shall mourn, having no husband. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine." So famine is coming, man, in a big way, man. Famine is coming to the earth in a big way, man. And a lot of these people finna be virgins. I mean, not virgins, widows through famine, man, and war, man. Cause some people finna go to war, man. And a lot of the husbands gonna die of famine, man. But like I say, man, famine is basically the same thing. So that's what they're saying in Lamentation 4 and 9. It say, "They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger." Better than they that be slain of famine, man. So, Lord willing, this was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. With that, I want to end to give infinite honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone, rule web, and a great example to the younger brothers in the truth, and peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, this edifying. Shalom, Kwam Yashala, and Abba Shalom.